So here we are with the dummy car, time to fit the second decoder, so time to get the unit out of the box. So as before, we'll just slide it out gently from this one. Hopefully should be a simpler procedure than fitting to the main motorised bogie. So as before, just opening the packaging out of the device, and again trying to be gentle with it. So again, fit the cradle at the top and turn it over to get it out. So that's it, just got the box away. Make sure you get all the bits of plastic that fit inside it, and just move that out of the way. So apparently there's no screw in this one to hold the top on. So we'll just keep this in, just make sure it's nice and tight there. So just have a check. There is in fact looks like there is a screw at the front. So unlike the instructions I was reading, just another little screw to take out the front, which holds it at the buffer beam. This one's going to Manchester, which you can hopefully just about see, maybe, in terms of where the light is. So just take the screw. So again, I'm having to use a small flathead screwdriver to do this because I can't quite reach with a posi drive screwdriver, which it is. So again, just loosening that one off. So you got that out there, and this is where the little pair of needle point tweezers comes in handy, and again go set that aside for later on. So same fun and games again to get this apart. So what we just got to do is to try to find a gap around the edge to squeeze everything in. So yeah, that's looking positive. Now what we're looking for this time is that there's actually little clips on the back of this clear plastic. So although we've got that in there like that, we'll try to just see if we can get behind the plastic to lift that off. So a little bit of a push here to get this in. So let's just get the three in this side, see where we are, and if we can just ease it gently with the screwdriver just to pull it off the clip there. So what I'm doing is just looking down, and there's where the windscreen is, where the panel for the window is, just get that underneath each of where the clips are. So same thing's true for this one. So there's another clip just by this front wheel. So just with a screwdriver, in fact I'd be better off with my pusher there, and just lift the tab up. So there's definite art to taking these things apart. So got that there, just see if we can gently find a way underneath this to lift it up, because we're trying not to detach the windows like we did with the front one. So yeah, it's not having any of it. So let's see if we can get a bit further up. There we are. Yeah, just managed to get the screwdriver underneath there. So if I'm very careful, there's space to do this one. So there we are, got that underneath there. So that's those two that side. So let's have a look. There's the final tab at the back. So we just lifted that off. So again, we just push one little spreader underneath that. So that's that side done. So just turn it around, and perhaps we'll sink it a little bit into the cradle this time. Try and make sure that it's well looked after. So yeah, that's okay. So the other side again, just try and use a fingernail on this one just to open this off. So it's a bit tight because we've got the other side sort of pulled up a bit. So we're not going anywhere, so maybe we'll try just lifting it out of the tabs from that side. See if it's how it's moving. So it's yeah, not going anywhere very soon. So a little bit of a problem. Just very gently try a screwdriver down the side. See if we can get into it. Let's try the plastic tab, because if this slips it won't do any damage, it being a bit softer. Always difficult to get these things apart. So yeah, quite a lip on this one to get into. We're in. Right, okay. So let's put the 3 down the side just to open it up a little bit. We're actually in behind the plastic on that one. So yep, that's the middle one in. So we just need to do the same thing here. So I think the trick is to slide it all the way down and then put it where the tab is. So push it all the way in, which holds the window in place, then just over here when we get to where the actual tab that's holding it in is, just prise that off a little bit, which it has done. Then we just put our little clips in there. So these clips are actually over where the tabs are, so all set up quite nicely. So if we turn it up the other way, should now pull off relatively easily. So it looks like we're, oh, there's a little, I think there's a tab holding it at the back. May just be holding it in, so we'll lift it, try and lift it out from the front. Oh, made a not very good noise there. So a little bit of help with the screwdriver. There we go, we're out to the front. Very gently ease it out here. So now that it's up in the air a little bit, again, just keep it on the plastic. Just try to lift it up. So we're clear on these two at the front, so we take those out. Clear on the middle two as well, so they can come out as well. And then we're just the back end that's holding it in, and there we are, we're out. So, turned upside down, there's the blanking chip that we need to put everything in, so just replace that with a chip. Pin 1 is marked at this end, so that's towards the back, so we'll make sure we get that, which is what it says on the instructions as well. So pin 1 should be all towards the trailer end of the car. So we'll just put that down gently, and again, for this one, just lift it up, use a pair of pliers just to pull the chip blank out, which pulls out quite nicely. So we'll set that to one side, we'll put that back in afterwards. So we get our little chip, and of course the big mystery with this is that they've tried to figure out how they've marked pin 1, which in this case is with a white dot on this end. So that white dot needs to go towards the back end, so it's this way round. So this is where I need my magnifying viewers to look at this, which is just out of shot. So if you've got better eyesight, you can probably see this far better than I can. So line it up, gently push it in, always a tight fit, so in there quite nicely now. So it's a case of, we will take it over to the bench now and just check to make sure that that's working. In this case, all it does is power the lights. So even though it's a fully functioning chip, the only thing it's going to be doing is turning the lights on at this end. So we'll go and check that over at the other side. So here we are over at the test track. So at the moment, the only thing this does is turn the lights on, the directional lights, which we do by turning on function 0. So I'll just turn that on, And there we are, success. So we've got white light showing now, indicating it's going in the direction towards the right hand side. And we just push the button again, we get the right hand light on it. So that's how we turn that over on that one. Function 0 to turn it off again. So it's all working. So big expensive decoder which could control an engine in there, but there's no motor in this one. So all it does is just control the directional lights. So bit of an expensive luxury in there, but what you need to do for DCC, otherwise you'll have your lights permanently on. So it's back over to the bench now, just to put the top back on again. So back over at the bench now. Now it's time to put the top back on again. So hopefully this may be slightly easier than taking it off. So I had a bit of experience of this now, so getting to know how these go together perhaps, but never something you feel really comfortable about. So just trying to line up the little black dots as we go. One thing that does stick up here is we have to get these parts here on the chassis stick up, so you just have to hook these the other side of the windows because it's slightly smaller than that, so it's a bit of a very tight fit. So the other thing I'm noticing is just bending one of these tabs up a little bit inside there. So these are the tabs there which make contact with these two contacts there which provide the lighting power. So we'll just bend that up whilst we're there, just to make sure that there's plenty of power on there. So make sure you don't accidentally bend those as you're playing with this one, because otherwise we'll have to open it up again, which we're trying to avoid as much as possible. Right, so trying to line the tabs up. So we'll get in there, so just catch it a little bit there and there at this side. So just trying to ease that gently back in. So we'll get in just a little bit of resistance at the back. So I must just be catching on that there. So we'll put that in there, and then what we'll try to do is perhaps put that this side of the tab there. Get my other collection. Same thing here. So we'll put that over this tab. So hopefully it'll make it slide in these circumstances. So we've got that one there in the middle. So this is where it has every tendency to just try and fly off these tabs. So a bit awkward to try to hold them, but this should make putting it back together a bit easier. So got those two covered there. Just the front two to do now. So in true style, these have sort of half hidden themselves, so can't see where the tab is on this one. It's gone. There's the tab right at the front, so maybe that's why there are a few problems getting it off this morning, just now, because I think my little plastic thing's in the wrong place. So there we are. In theory those are all in the right places, so just back these off a little bit and gently push down. We're almost there now, so just ease them down a little bit further. So we'll take this one out first, push that down. That's sort of having not very much of it, so it may be in there. Same thing for these, as we're pushing, push gently on the bits of plastic without the trim on. So we're almost there. So we've just got a problem at the front end here. So as always, it's been a little bit problematic. So I just need to ease it slightly that way. Just try to push gently in the right place to just get it in the tab. So maybe just need to lift it a little bit here with the screwdriver. Let's get it over the tab. So So we're in line there, and on the other side, make sure we're there with that one, and just trying to slide it so that it fits. I think we just need to come back just a fraction of a millimetre. Looks like we're in at the back, and just at the front. I think we just got the front stood up a little bit, so just need to ease this gently back a bit. It's always a way I think it's gone in at the back rather than the front, so what we'll have to do is lift it out in the middle, just give it a bit of room so that we can get the front in, which has got less movement on it. So we're out there on that side, and let's just get this lifted on the other. Typical, we've got gone in quite nicely. In the middle, it's just the front that's got problems with it. So now we've got that, should give us just about enough room to squeeze that in at the front, which feels like it's going in now. Yep, and then take the middle two out, and there we are. So what I'm looking for there is dotted line of rivets, just to make sure they're visible there, and same thing the other side, which again it is. So there's a line of rivets on there, which is just about lined up, so you know that you've got it in nice and square. So gentle push, everything feels fine, so it's just a case now of trying to put that little tiny screw back in again, which is fairly awkward. Not much space to do that in, unless you could take this bogey off, which would be very difficult to do. So just a case of, again, get the screw with the needle pointed pliers, and then just a case of trying to gently manoeuvre it in, which is a lot easier said than done. So seems to be that this is best at square ahead. Now this is where it's a problem, because my needle pointed pliers are slightly magnetic, so it doesn't want to let go of the screw. So we can just about hold it with a screwdriver there, so it's in the right place. Just need to flick it into the screw hole, which is now. Try very gently to tighten it up, which you may do in a moment. So there we are. Yep, it's going in now. So there we have it, the Derby Lightweight unit, all put back together again, all ready to go with the decoder. So all I've got to do now is go and set it up on the computer, put the right decoder values in. I'm using JMRI for that, and then I'll load it into Hornby Railmaster, which I control my layout with. Then we'll set it up on the layout and then just get some film of it running around. So I'll miss out the decoder bit, but we'll show you how it's set up and running in a moment. So here she is, all working, waiting in the station, ready to go. So once I get the right away, she'll be off.